Alright, 24 hours after I made this initial reaction video to KATSEYE's Gnarly music video, I have now fully digested the new song and the MV. Well, sort of, not really. But here's my take. And let me say this from the very beginning. KATSEYE didn't just drop a comeback, they dropped a cultural grenade. And Gnarly, the news track, is super loud, bratty, and unapologetically weird. And the audience, even the fans, are genuinely confused. And I had so much fun reading all the comments that you have written under my reaction video and all under the official music video itself. But it's not chaos for chaos sake. As the members told The Fader in a recent interview, this song captures what it means to grow up on the internet, where identity is performed, transmutates overnight, and where the digital world swallows the real one whole. Also, beneath the chaos is one of the most brutal takedowns of consumer culture, idol manufacturing, and trend chasing the K-pop industry has ever seen. So let's break down why I believe Gnarly is pure chaos on purpose. First, packaged idols and trend sandwiches. Let's check out the very beginning of the music video. The video opens with Yoonchae, the youngest member of the group, her head presented in a pink plastic tray, wrapped in cling film, exactly like pre-packaged supermarket meat. Right? Her makeup is also flawless, her expression is doll-like, and she appears motionless and lifeless. This is like the visual mic drop of the music video's thesis, I would say. The idol is turned into a literal product, beautified, packaged, and commodified for public consumption. And this isn't subtle. It's a grotesque parody of how idols are branded and sold to fans, expected to remain passive and perfect and judged by their surface value, looks, memes, and viral potential. And the packaging echoes stereotypically aesthetic internet trends, pink, plastic perfection, but does so in a very cold, clinical way. It's beauty as something dead, not lived. So it's a direct metaphor for idol commodification. Where is this? Right here. The K-pop industry doesn't just create stars, it mass produces personas for fans to consume. And the more perfectly packaged you are, the more people forget there's a person inside. And right after that, we see various hyper pop culture symbols assembled into a grotesque sandwich. And each ingredient in the sandwich directly mirrors what's referenced in the opening verse, like boba tea, which is globalization of trend culture, I would say. Tesla, tech wealth, aesthetic and idol status symbols, and fried chicken, street food culture turned viral. And the ingredients aren't chosen at random. They represent how cultural identity is repackaged into something marketable. These items are thrown together like content on your, For You page. Random, flashy, engineered to hit instantly, but with no nutritional value. So, in short, the sandwich is like algorithm food, viral, empty, and mass produced. Now, how about this? Consumerism eats itself. The kicker is that the sandwich is fed back to Yoonchae later in the music video. She eats the trends, the expectations, the aesthetics, and she is molded by them. It's a brutal loop. First, she's packaged like a product, made to consume pop culture, then sold back to us as a final product, until she gets thrown away, leading to Nowhere Land, and then gets packaged like a product again. That's the genius of the imagery, I believe. She's both a symbol of Gen Z idolhood, trained to perform cultural references, and a metaphor for the modern fan, devouring fast pop and feeding into this whole cycle. Now, One might ask, why a sandwich? So in US slang, sandwich can also mean feeling squeezed, overwhelmed, or stuck between forces, which could be perfect symbolism for KATSEYE, who is, we can say, squeezed between East and West, global versus K-pop, and who's caught between idol and influencer, and also trapped by fandom expectations while being mocked for defying them. So when Yoonchae eats the sandwich, she's swallowing the role she's been given and the absurdity of it all. So this scene continues the video's critique of idol branding as fast food, culture commodification, and the dehumanization of both idols and fans through trend chasing. It's quite loud, ridiculous, and weirdly genius, exactly like the song. Now, next, let's talk about the lyrics. Lyrics that mock hype language specifically. Because what seems like nonsense is actually sharp parody. So here's Lara's verse, and it's a string of meaningless hype phrases. Oh, we're in a session tonight, gang gang. Oh, we're going out tonight, gang gang. Oh my god, this song is so lit, congratulations. Like, gang gang, this song is so lit, congratulations. These are like surface level, empty phrases. Things we say out of habit, not genuine emotion. And by stacking them together without context or meaning, Lara's delivery becomes a parody of, the so-called stan lingo and music discourse online. Think TikTok comments, reaction videos, live stream chats, all regurgitating the same 10 hype phrases to every release. And it's not KATSEYE being unoriginal. It's basically KATSEYE holding up a mirror. It's a jab at how quickly the industry and fandoms reduce music into meme-ready buzzwords instead of engaging with it critically. They're not saying this sincerely, they're performing how people expect idols to sound and then mocking the hollowness of it. Also, Lara's sarcastic tone during this verse is crucial. It's not meant to sound cool or sincere. It sounds mocking, even exhausted. By the way, I love Megan's face expression right here. And Lara's not just performing the lyric, she's also playing a character. Someone parroting phrases they have heard online, and someone mimicking how to react rather than reacting genuinely. It's a subtle form of meta performance, I would say, where even the vocal tone is part of the critique. So that verse, her verse, isn't a filler. It's a meta critique of how fans, influencers, and even artists themselves talk about music. It's asking a question: do you actually like this, or are you just saying what you've been told is the right thing to say? In a media ecosystem where lit gang gang can trend without context, KATSEYE throws those same words back at us with a smirk. How about and the next part, the concert with no connection. So later in the music video, KATSEYE performs on a glowing green platform, boxed in by 4 pillars, red pillars, and surrounded by fans. But there's distance. The fans cannot reach them. It's sterile, artificial, and clinical, even though it mimics a live show. And this is a visual metaphor, I would say, for modern stan culture. Fans feel like they're close to idols, physically at concerts, emotionally online, but in reality, it's a staged illusion of intimacy, and the box mirrors the metaphor from Yoonchae's packaging in the opening. Everything here is on display and curated. Now, we also see Manon in the crowd, visibly bored and disconnected, taking selfies while the performances go on. And she's not at the concert to enjoy it, it seems like. She's there to prove she was there. It's not about connection with the artist. It's about documentation. She's part of the performance only to extract clout from it. And it's a perfect portrayal of Gen Z's and K-pop's content first, emotion second culture, some might say. And also, this scene exposes how fans now performed just as much as idols do. Mano's selfie becomes her content, detached from the experience she's supposedly having. So this scene is asking a question: are you really a fan, or are you farming attention through closeness to fame of the artist? And I'll say this scene is also another brutal takedown of the modern idol economy, where authenticity is staged and idols are both commodity and spectacle. And the question is, the statement is, be aware of what this system makes of all of us, idols, fans, and the spaces in between. Now, next, let's talk about copy and paste culture and copy machine, photocopy machine. We see later in the music video the members dancing inside a limo, and inside the limo is a photocopy machine. And we see Daniela pressed face down on a scanner, flat back scanner, looking directly at the camera as it scans her. And the lighting shifts from warm and glam to cold and clinical between frames. And this literal photocopier moment is like a visual pun on the line. Like, Avi, they be trying to copy, I'm the shit. But instead of just bragging that others are copying her, the camera flips inward, suggesting that she herself is being copied and forced to reproduce. That's a subtle but important twist. It's not just about external imitation. It's about how the system manufactures identity through replication. The scene can also be read as a direct criticism of the entertainment industry, particularly how labels create template idols through visual branding, choreo, and sonic trends, and how individuality is flattened literally through overproduction and control, and how even subversion becomes formulaic when done under corporate supervision. So the message is super meta. You say we're industry plans, fine, here's what that actually looks like, and here's what it does to us. There's also something quite uncomfortable about how Daniela is positioned. Her face is pressed to glass. She's aware she's being watched and scanned. Her expression is defiant but also resigned. So this calls back to the earlier packaged idol theme. Surveillance as performance, commodified for consumption. It touches on how idols are hypervisible, hypercritiqued, always expected to perform even when exploited, and literally objectified, turned into a flattened image on a machine. And how this ties into the track Gnarly, this scene sharpens the song's thesis that KATSEYE is both a product and a critique of idol machinery. By turning Daniela's line and the scene into a dystopian image, the music video says, yeah, we are being copied, but we are also being copied of ourselves. And this isn't flattery, it's industry cloning, and we're calling it out, almost. Next, let's talk about the red carpet and the paparazzis. Red carpet as horror show. So we see at the end of the music video, the KATSEYE members strut down a red carpet in full glam, and the paparazzi are literally foaming at the mouth, wide-eyed, contorted with excitement. And their expressions are, as we see here, cartoonishly exaggerated, manic, obsessive, grotesque. And the red carpet here isn't about elegance, it's a frenzy. The paparazzi are not people. They are content machines, hungry to capture, dissect, and distribute every moment of the idol's life. It reinforces the idea that your job isn't to be. Your job is to be seen, almost. And the members aren't performing music anymore. They're performing the role of idol for cameras, for headlines, and for virality. And the facial expressions are so over the top, they're almost horror-like. A parody of real-world media behavior. No empathy, just spectacle. The idol is prey, the press is predator, but also a tool for the viewers. And everyone plays along because that's the system. So this scene is a direct jab at how celebrity culture isn't about admiration anymore. It's about devouring personas. And this doesn't just point fingers at media or paparazzi. It implicates us, the viewer. We consume idols with the same frenzied hunger as those paparazzi. We demand access, content, scandals, vulnerability, and we call it support. And by going this exaggerated, the music video asks, are you watching because you care or because you crave? And in the context of the whole MV, I would say, let's see. Yeah, so the opening scene showed idols as packaged meat, right? And the middle mocked viral trends, forced identity, and fandom hypocrisy. And the ending shows how it all funnels into a spectacle of consumption, whether you're a fan, critic, or idol. It's a full circle takedown. Idol culture is a loop. Watch, devour, discard, repeat. And Gnarly refuses to break free. It mocks the cycle by living in it. And last but not least, let's talk about the final scene or final shot. The knife and the final cut of the sandwich. A knife slices clean through a overstuffed, hyper-stylized sandwich we have seen built throughout the music video, right as the slime-dripping word gnarly appears on screen. Remember, throughout the music video, the sandwich has represented pop culture excess, trend overload, cultural commodification, the idol fan feedback loop. And cutting it in half without hesitation is their final act of rebellion. It's a visceral, middle finger to everything the sandwich stands for. We know what this is. We played along, and now we're done. They're basically saying, is one of the few direct, non-satirical moves in the entire video, and that makes it hit harder. And the dripping grain font looks gross, like slime, like decay, and it recontextualizes the phrase gnarly from 2000s, which is a surfer slang, to something toxic, maybe even rotten. And this interpretation reframes the song title itself. Gnarly isn't just hype or cool. It's a grotesque and end result of endless consumer cycles. Loud, fast, chaotic, and empty. So when the word gnarly appears just as a sandwich is cut, and eventually melts, it's a double metaphor. This is what you've been eating, and we're done feeding it to you. What's key is who is holding the knife. It's not an accident. It's actually deliberate. Daniela, and by extension, KATSEYE themselves, reclaims agency from the madness by literally severing the product that defined their, artistry or music. It's an ironic twist on the line. They be trying to copy the shit. If the industry tried to copy them, package them, and turn them into a consumable, KATSEYE just sliced it in half before it even hit the shelf. So, yeah, KATSEYE Gnarly is a satire, it's a flex, it's a warning, and also a spectacle all at once. From meat trays to photocopiers, red carpets, where is it? Yeah, stage, photocopiers, to red carpets, to sandwiches. Every scene screams the same thing. You want the product? Fine, here it is. We have shown you what it's made of. Now ask yourself why you keep eating it. They're in the system and they see it clearly, and they're not here to play nice. And I quite love it. The more I listen to it, the more I watch the music video, I loving it more and more. And now, before we wrap up, let's read this Fader interview that came out on April 30th. You're not ready for KATSEYE's new era. The global girl group, no, their new song, Gnarly, is so chaotic. It's just the beginning. KATSEYE new song Gnarly opens with the megaphone pressed right up against your ear. They could describe everything with one single word. Member Yuncha says before listing a bunch of things that they consider to be gnarly. Boba tea, Teslas, fried chicken, a party in the Hollywood Hills. Megan cuts in to deliver a "oh my god, is this real?" in an arcing drawl, drenched in the graveless vocal fry. You don't need to see them to visualize them rolling their eyes. Then the beat drops. There has not been a KATSEYE song like this before. Since forming in 2023 through the HYBE and Geffen Records created competition show Dream Academy, the members of KATSEYE, Sophia, Daniela, Manon, Lara, Megan, and Yunche, have fine-tuned the formula of what the world stands from a girl group in what the world wants from a girl group in 2025. Their 2024 debut EP, Sis, Soft and Strong, bolstered by the Slinky debut and their bubblegum-hued viral hit Touch, delivered craveable girl group pop that was both relatable and aspirational, but now they're ready to get weird. I don't think anyone is expecting this, Manon tells the Fader over a 6-way video call from their Los Angeles studio. It's an April afternoon and they're in the middle of another long day of rehearsals. It's true, Gnarly will ruffle more than a few of their fans' feathers. Its slangy lyrics are blindingly braggy. "Oh my god, this song is so lit, congratulations," goes one line. "Hottie hottie, like a bag of Takis," goes another. While the beat teeters between metallic clashes and a revving pre-chorus, the word gnarly is repeated upwards of 40 times. It's abrasive, camp, totally chaotic, and it's not a surprise to see pop disruptor Alice Longyu Gao among the track's list of credited songwriters. As a first taste of KATSEYE's next EP, Gnarly pushes the group out of its comfort zone as they embrace an edgier sound and discover new elements in their evolving relationship. Ahead, we caught up with the global girl group to chat about recording Gnarly, developing a flow, and why their fans shouldn't be worried about what's coming up next. I love it. I'm ready. The Fader, you all have now been working together, living together for 3 years. What have you learned from having this tight-knit relationship with each other? Daniela, for me specifically, growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't have siblings. I feel like we created this special bond that the 6 of us have, and we're pretty much family. I say this all the time, they're my sisters, but at the same time, they're my besties. Like, these girls are going to be there for my wedding type best friend. We literally spend every day, all day with each other. Manon, Danny said it beautifully, and I can't wait to attend their wedding. We obviously work together, but we're genuinely friends and family, and each other's support system. I know these girls go through the same exact thing as I am, and they have a deeper understanding of everything than anyone else in my life. Question: what was the biggest difference between making the Sis EP and this new one? Lara, I think this EP, from the music to the visuals, the dancing, the styling, it came from us. Sis was still a collaborative process, but for this one, we really were involved in a lot of the aspects of the EP. Beautiful. This whole year, we were exploring and figuring out our identity as a group. We realized we are very chaotic. We make this big, beautiful mess when we come together. So the EP is inspired off of that. It's also darker. It's edgier. It feels like we're growing up and maturing. Sophia, we were able to bond so much over the Sis era and find little things that work for us and things that didn't. This era is us really trying to sharpen that direction. We're able to answer questions easier like, what do we want to do about this? What do you want to do about that? We have a flow that's starting to develop. I don't think anyone is expecting this. What did that flow look like when you all recorded Gnarly? It's a very bold song. Lara, Gnarly is a very unstructured song. It's kind of random. It's more about the vibe. When we got into the studio, we had to try a lot of different characters, a lot of different voices to see what worked. For me, I was wearing my shades and fur coat in the studio. I was trying to feel really confident. We had to record a bunch of times to really get it perfect because the essence of the song was just about letting go and not thinking too much. It was probably one of the most fun songs that we have ever gotten to record. Manon, we all got so into character. Lara let me wear her fox fur coat, and we were all wearing glasses. At one point, we all sang the song in a British accent, and we're just messing around with it, literally doing the most. In the intro, you all list these things that are gnarly. Can you guys describe gnarly? What else was on the list? Manon, we have so many words, but gnarly can be a good thing or a bad thing in our minds. It's kind of up for interpretation. Lara, I think it's good to know in the song, especially in the first verse, there are good gnarlies and there are bad gnarlies. They're just like, yeah, whatever you interpret it as. In a press release, I read that parts of the new project talk about the friction that arises when 6 girls are all living in the same house. Ooh, is that true, and what was it like to write about that? Sophia, Yunche and I can kind of talk about this. A lot of us are away from home and having to make that sacrifice, and this whole project, even living together with all these different cultures and different upbringings, we were all coming from different worlds fully and are now one. The whole idea of that is already chaotic, Yunche, and beautiful. Sophia, I think that's the cultural collision of all 6 of us becoming one, and I think that is a huge ongoing theme, not only for this EP, but for us in general, which is why I wanted to pour it in. That whole thing is what's gnarly about it. We realize we're very chaotic, we make this big beautiful mess when we come together. Question, do you all have similar music taste? Daniela, for the most part, we all listen to the same stuff, but I know Megan, Lara, and I are super heavy on rap. Nice. Lara, oh my god, we have been playing the new Playboi Carti album music every single day. Since it came out, every single day when we warm up, we just play the album back to back to back. We made our choreographer start playing it too. When we go on drives, we'll listen to it, but something that we usually all love to listen to together is Britney Spears and Lady Gaga, like 2000s pop girlhood, like Confident, Hot. Sophia, all of us collectively love throwbacks. Last night, me, Lara, Danny, and Yunche went out and we were playing music in Danny's car, and there was a Maroon 5 song that played, and Yunche knew every single word. Lara and I were so gagged. We were like, oh my gosh, you know this song so well. It's stuff like that that connects us. Question, you have a very close relationship with your fans, icons, and Gnarly is obviously very out there. Are you guys looking forward to hearing the feedback from your fans? Ooh, good question. Manon said, we're excited to see what the fans have to say about Gnarly, just cause they have no idea what's coming. The outfits in the music video, the whole styling, everything. I think we have listened to our fans too, and I think that's what they wanted. Lara, I feel like Gnarly is so chaotic, it's also vulnerable in a way. There's so much stimulation that comes from the song, and it's really about being young women growing up on the internet. This is what I talked about in the beginning of this video you're watching, right? We all grew up with social media, with our phones around us. It's hard to remember a world where I didn't have my phone. The song ties into that, and how confusing that can be, and how blurry the digital world and the real world can get, and how random it is. It's going to be such a gag coming from Touch. Manon, how do I say this? The fans, once they hear Gnarly, some of them might be in shock. And that, yeah, happened. And I just want them to know it's okay. I love this song, don't get me wrong, but I don't think anyone is expecting this. So I just want to tell them, just be prepared for what we have coming. Boom. Alright, so there it is. Now, having gone through this beautiful interview and having heard me talk about this music video and the song, what do you think? Do you still love it? Do you still hate it? Are you still confused? And have you watched their live performances lately? First of all, they uploaded their own MV reaction video, and they performed at Studio Chum Original, and they performed at M Countdown. So go check it out if you go check them out if you haven't already, and let me know what you think about this music video and the track Gnarly. Peace and love. Bye bye.